So here we have a pair of ACG Air Mada sneakers, and it's in the black and anthracite colourway. And these were originally released in 1994, so it's one of those pieces of footwear that I suppose was ahead of its time, because ACG was slightly new back then, and it was one of those sort of technologies that Nike developed for, I suppose, more sort of outdoor type activities. And these are made as hiking shoes, I suppose, and they kind of got that hybrid look to them, where they're sort of similar to a trainer, but also giving that boot vibe. And these were originally designed by Sergio Lozano. So with the details, it comes in a black and anthracite colourway. So pretty much all the upper is black, and then the grey parts you can sort of see around the sneaker, which is more kind of anthracite, which is a slightly lighter shade of black. And what makes these different to any other sort of hiking shoe really is they got a polyurethane cupsole, and also within that it's got an airbag unit in the heel, so which makes it different to the norm, and you can feel that when you have it on foot as well. And it also has a toothed rubber outsole, so you can see that here, and it provides very good traction in my opinion, and works well in terms of like giving you that overall grip and sort of sensation that you're sort of quite sort of solid and rugged on feet. And it reminds me of like a Timberland boot outsole really. And this is made up of all sorts of synthetic materials. I think even the leather quality on this, it feels a bit more like pleather, so it's not the greatest of quality, but at the same time it's, I suppose par for the course, especially for the price. And then you got the upper being this sort of mesh textile type lining, which provides that breathability, which is again different to I suppose hiking shoes of that time period. And the price for these is £115. So with the comfort and sizing, this is on the medium to firm side. There's a little bit of give in there, and what I find is your heel, because of the air unit in there, you can sort of sit slightly elevated, and it's good for sort of walking. If you're sort of out and about and you're walking, you put more pressure on your forefoot area, because obviously when you're walking, that's predominantly where most of your mobility lies. So for that reason, it works well. Obviously, if you're wearing them for a long time, you might have a bit of tension towards your forefoot area, but I think that's par for the course, because obviously if you're hiking and stuff like that, then you kind of need more, I suppose, angling towards your front foot and less towards your heel. But obviously the air unit in there does provide sort of absorption and put impact protection as well, which is obviously good. And I feel like they're quite stable on foot and quite sort of contoured as well, so the insole in here does provide to be good support overall, which is a really nice thing, because you want that arch support, and you also want to be able to sort of feel like you can be sort of pretty much sort of comfortable in these for long periods of time. And I think true to size works in these. Even though I have a wide foot, there's no tension really. This is a true to size pair that I have, and they work really, really well. And I would say there's no wearing time. They're pretty good to go out of the box. Obviously they're going to be a bit sort of medium to firm side, but I usually find with like any trainers with like the Air Max unit, they usually tend to feel better once you sort of break them in a bit. And I think these have very good traction. You can sort of see that on the outsole. It works well, and it's, like I said to you earlier, it's like a boot-like type texture pattern. So all in all, it should work fine. And like I said, it's quite sort of deep grooves as well. So with the look and style, I mean, it's got that hiking styling look to it, so it's more sort of the outdoorsy vibe. What I also like about them is they feel quite sort of rugged as well, but also at the same time lightweight. And then at the front here you have this mudguard area, which is made of this sort of plastic material, and I think again it's good for sort of hard wearing. Like I said earlier, they're kind of more boot-like, but I just like the fact that they're low cuts rather than being high cuts. And these ones are good for sort of all seasons in my opinion, so it's one of those sort of pieces of footwear that I suppose is mainly for walking and hiking, especially in sort of any kind of terrain that you're not going to be sort of mainly on the streets. It's going to be off-road kind of thing. So for that reason I think they work well. And it's a casual sneaker at the end of the day, so like I said, it's mainly for hiking. And it comes with these sort of black, almost sort of twin coloured laces in there, black and grey, which is very much hiking sort of type laces, but that's kind of what I would tend to sort of go with. You don't really mess around with something like this with like hiking boots. So with the final thoughts, I like the Nike Air in the heel, which was a really nice feature, and I also like the fact that they put pull tabs on this as well, and they feel quite sturdy and strong, and also allow a lot of flexibility. You can sort of see that here with this sort of movement that you've got going on the back. So I think that works really well, and you get enough space with the tongue, and I never found it an issue to sort of get my foot in there. And I also like the outsole grip, which I mentioned earlier. So sometimes with Nike footwear, it can be, in my opinion, a bit hit and miss with regards to sort of the outsole traction. But with this one, you know, it works well, like I said, because it's more boot-like. With the cons, I think the comfort. So obviously, if you're going to be wearing these all day, just be prepared that, you know, they're not going to be the most comfortable of footwear. But in all honesty, when you're sort of hiking and that kind of stuff, I think all that kind of goes to the wayside, and you know, you're always in sort of pain or some sort of issue, you know, in terms of sort of just feeling tiredness. So overall, you know, the shoes can make a difference, but at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. And the materials, I think the materials aren't that great on this. So, you know, the leather quality isn't amazing in my opinion. It feels very much like synthetic material, so I think it will get ruined quite quickly, and you know, show up a lot of creases and stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, the price point kind of reflects that. So with the look and style, for a like hiking shoe, I actually like these, and I think they look quite cool, and I sort of prefer wearing this type of footwear because it's more lightweight and more trainer-like versus something like a Timberland boot. And the comfort, I'm going to give it a 4. I don't think it's like that bad actually, considering, you know, some of the other Nike Air sort of technology that's around. I think with this one, because it feels more sort of contoured to your foot, that's where the comfort comes in, but it's still on the medium to firm side. And the quality, I'd give that a 4. It's just one mark off. I think because of the price that it is at, it kind of like leads me to, you know, sort of not question the quality too much. And that's why overall I think the score for this is a 4 out of 5. I still think it's you know, definitely worth grabbing, and you know, if you're sort of into these, you know, hiking and stuff quite a lot, but you don't want to sort of pay an arm and a leg for a pair of hiking shoes, and you want something that is slightly more comfortable than the norm, then these are a really good option. And especially because, you know, if you can't afford to buy like a Salomon, which are really quite a lot more in price compared to something like this, this is a worthwhile option, and especially if you want something more shoe-like. But I prefer wearing Salomons, and I try to sort of grab those when they're on sale. So, you know, so I always have a pair or two, especially sort of in bad weather. They, you know, for me they work better for me personally, but you know, each to their own.